Welcome to A Fighter's Life, Mr. Anthony Fowler. Andy, how you doing, bro?
Good, thanks, mate. Good. Makes it finally meet you.
Yeah, mate, I think we was talking before. It's so funny that I feel like we've spoke loads over the years. We feel like we know each other. This is the first time meeting.
I know it's mad, isn't it, mate? I knew it was you. I thought, you know what, I'll do that.
Oh, cheers, bro. It's like, well, look, listen. Like I said, on A Fighter's Life, we sort of want to find out what makes a fighter, all the stories, everything that sort of brought them to this point. So, if we go right back to your childhood, I mean, there's so many things that you could have done. Why boxing?
Like I just said, I found it by fluke. Basically, I come from a broken home when I was young. I was very shy, a quiet kid, and a lad in my school in year 7 when I first started senior school, he was a boxer, and he was like, fancy coming on the gym, and I was like, I've got nothing else to do. We used to just mess around, play in the streets, kick a football around, act daft. So I went down the gym with him, and I was obviously my first day, I was a little bit shy. He was like, having me a spar, and I was a bit like,
on the first day?
He let me have a few sessions first, lad. I've just got here, so he was asking me all the time, and I was like, I was making excuses. I was like, I'm going to go my shield, and he was like, we won't get one. So in the end, we got to go my shield, and after like 3 or 4 weeks, we sparred, and I was remembering I hit him with a few punches, I hit him with a stiff jab, and his nose started bleeding, and he looked like he was going to start crying.
Yeah.
But I think he was surprised how strong I was. I was always like very strong. Even before a box, I had like natural strength.
Yeah.
And so I ended up doing him in the spar anyway. And the coach, the alpha there, Joe Harper, he was like, what's your name, mate? He went, you've done well there. He's been going for 4 years, and you done really well there. So I was like, nice one. So this lad got a bit disarmed, stopped going. I carried on going, and after about 3 or 4 months, I had my first fight. I went down to the fight like a proper unprepared. All I had was my gum shield and my trainees, and I've even had boxing boots or nothing. Like no one in my family knew nothing about boxing, so I went down the gym and to fight in a pair of Astros, Nike Astros. I can remember it. And then anyway, this kid come out, I was boxing, he had all the fancy robe, all the fancy gear. And I just filled the kid in, I dropped him, and I think I was only 11.
Really?
I put him down with the right hand, and after that I went home and I told my uncle, I live with my dad. When I told my uncle I was boxing, my uncle was dead into sport. It was Robbie Fowler's dad. He was like dead into sport, and like he was dead competitive, and he was like, I'll buy all your stuff. So he bought me like a pair of boxing boots, he bought me my wraps, gloves, and then started like supporting me a little bit, and then because I was getting a bit of encouragement, I like got a bit of a bug for it.
I love that. So from there, obviously you you got that little bit of support, get you some of the gear. How have you then made it? Because obviously you was GB, limit, all this stuff. Like, what's the process? How do you do that? Like, how do you stay dedicated? Because when you're 11, I'm always curious to this sort of thing, right? You'll probably find this. You probably have met a lot of kids in the gym and stuff. You know, like when you have a hobby as a kid, you might be really good at it, but you get to that age where you're sort of 14, 15, and going out with your mates or doing this or going to a party, it becomes more important. Do you know what I mean? It sort of overtakes that, and then you sort of get to that point. Obviously, with me, it's not as cool as boxing. It was with dancing, but with I see a lot of boys who it was like one of them. It was either they were going to really stick at it, or it was going to be that was it. So how did you go from not making the choice of going out, being with your mates, doing this, to achieving everything you did, like as an amateur?
Yeah, I think like I said, when I was young, I was really shy. I was really within myself. I wouldn't really look at someone in the face. I like look at the floor. I wouldn't really like have much confidence and stuff. And then when I was a boxer, as I was winning like titles and fights, people around me were giving me respect. They were like, he's a boxer, and like in school, people knew twice and to try and like pick on me. Like some kids, I went to a all boys school, and there was a lot of kids getting bullied in there, and it was quite a rough school. It's actually closed down now. It was that bad. It was it was a rough school. So because I was boxing, it made me feel like, come on, try it with me, and I'll just smack you. Do you know what I mean? So it made me give me a lot of confidence, and then I got to that age, and like you said, then when it was going 2 ways, and I was always like committed and dead trained hard my whole life. And then when I left school, I obviously I needed to start earning money. And you get into the age where you're getting a little bit older, everyone's getting apprenticeships, everyone's starting to earn money. And then I was like, the boxing's not really paying me nothing. I'm only an amateur fighter. I'm not really paying nothing. So I tried to go on the GB squad. I got trials for that. And even though I was the best in the country, they wouldn't pick me. I feel as though my face didn't fit a little bit. I was from a club in Liverpool where no one really had no one on the board or no officials or no one. They are saying that what, you know, too, you know, and I was winning every year. I won the ABA title, Tri-Nations Gold. I won it 3 years in a run, and they still didn't pick me. And I was like,
how old are you at this point?
I was 16, but I hadn't lost in England for like 3 years. I'd won the ABAs every year. 1 year I knocked the fella out in the final. I won the 4 Nations Gold medal 3 years in a row, and I was thinking like, what's going on here? So I went down the trials. I said I have a bit of a long story, but I went to the World Championships, and I went there with a bad injury. My back was absolutely killing me, and I just fought through the pain for months just training for it. I didn't want to pull out, and then I boxed this horrible little Uzbekistani or something. He was like a southpaw just holding me and running around the ring, and it was a scrappy fight and I lost, but because I'd suffered for a few months training through the pain, it probably hurt me even more than I'd worked so hard, I'd suffered, and I lost first fight. And then in the changing rooms, the coach who was head of the team was like, I had no sympathy for me at all. He was like, I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself, and he was like, get your bag, we're going. And I was like, I will now. And he's like, no, get your bag now. And I was like, mate, give me a chance, I've just lost a fight.
Yeah.
But he just didn't like Scousers. I think he was just didn't like Scousers. I think first of all, we had it in for me, the fella. And when he went home, he gave me a bit of a bad report saying like he doesn't do what he's told and stuff. But bear in mind, the whole trip I was good as gold, but that one little instant when I just lost and I was down, he was like trying to like he wasn't like dismissing me. Like I wanted a bit of a like unlucky mate, and then I would have been alright. But so after that, he didn't pick me for the GB team. So I was a bit like, you know what, F this boxing, it's not earning me a penny. I'm gonna start like going out. Like, and I never really drank or nothing. So I started like going out with my friends, drinking. I was in nightclubs. I was like seeing girls. I was doing weights, going to sunbeds, just living like a normal life.
Yeah.
And then after a few months of it, I was in a bar in town. I was drinking, and I was looking around me, thinking like, this isn't for me. This. I was with my friend. My friend was in there, and I said, lad, I'm gonna go, mate. He said, what do you mean? I said, mate, I'm going. So I just put the drink down, went home, and the next day I went to the gym the following Monday. Then I just come back with like a new fire.
Nice.
I'd like put on like 10 kilo.
Really?
Everyone thought I'd be on steroids in the gym. I was like, what have you been doing? I was like, I've just been living a normal life, doing weights and eating food and stuff. So I went back, and then I won the ABs again. I won the ABs like 4 years running, but this time I won the senior ABs, and I won my knockouts again.
Wow.
So after that, Rob McCracken had just been the GB head coach. I think he liked me raw power and me strength, and he just gave me a phone call. Was like, I'm going to offer you a place on the GB squad. So I was like, sad, because I was going to turn pro. I had people speaking to like Frank Warren, and I was thinking about turning pro, but when I got offered the GB squad, I thought, you know what, I'd love to go to the Olympics first and then go pro.
Now, I want to ask something about that, because I know a few guys, right? So take like, I know Fraser Clark quite well. And obviously he's turned pro now, but quite late, because he was hanging on to the Olympics. Obviously then Joshua went, then Joyce went, and then he finally got his shot. But it's like, is that a real sort of debate internally? Because you do well at the Olympics, you come out, you turn over, you're a medalist, you're an Olympian. The deals are going to be a bit more lucrative. It's going to be a bit, when I say a bit easier, you've got a bit more of a platform to jump off when you turn over. But then on the flip side, if you end up in a Fraser position and you're waiting for 2 or 3 cycles and you get a bit older, it's like, for you, obviously you was a lot younger, was you happy that you went Olympics route and didn't turn over straight away?
If I go back, obviously it's all in hindsight. I would have turned pro when I was 23. I just won the Commonwealth Games. I was in a really good place. I was really flying. The next 2 years I was just plagued with injuries, and I lost in the Olympics, so I had a tough draw. So if I could go back, I would have been pro a little bit younger. But when you're in that little clique on GB, the halves talk you into it. Like their funding's dependent on medals, and they want the top boys to stay. Like Fraser, he done well. He got an Olympic bronze, and he got a good bit of money to sign on and stuff. So he's worked out all right for Fraser, and he's a heavyweight, so we can have a long career. Where people like myself, I probably peaked around 25, 26, 27, and then they're my best years, and I lost a bit of my best years in the amateurs because I was only fighting 3 rounds, and then obviously turning pro at 26. My pro career only lasted 4.5 years. It lasted really, really short, but
yeah,
I had to like move really, really fast. Within like a year, I was fighting for titles where, say I would have been pro at 23, I could have had a few years to just learn the game and just ease into it and find my feet, where I had to rush it, but it all worked out well for me. I'm in a really good position in life, so I'll never regret nothing, but if I could do things differently, I would. Yeah,
benefit of hindsight, right? Speaking of that, obviously, you've had such a rounded experience when it comes to boxing. What is your worst boxing experience in the game? Like you've been doing it since you was 11 years old, doing it for so long, amateur, pro, whatever it is. What's like the worst part of boxing for you? What's been the hardest part?
You know what? I think it wasn't as hard towards the end. The last year or two, it was killing me, because obviously when I had my first child, it was so much harder to be away from home. When I was younger, I was just like dead driven, and I was always very selfish. I was always like, my boxing comes first before anything, before friends, family, birthdays, anything. It was always the boxing. It was my life. And when my girlfriend got pregnant, she went a bit little loopy on me. then I was getting a bit of grief from, you know, even home all the time because she was at home pregnant.
Yeah.
Wanted me to be with her and support her through
You're
it.
a brave man, bro. I know you're a boxer, but now I know she's in the next room. You're very brave.
She knows the score. She went psycho. But obviously she wants to be. I understand that. Obviously you're a woman, you're pregnant, you want to have your partner with you. You don't want to be doing it all by yourself. So she had to go through the whole pregnancy by herself. I was always away in London, and she found it really, really difficult to be by herself and be pregnant. And then even when we had the baby, my little son, he was 2 days old. I had to leave him to go and fight in London. And I remember sitting in the changes before the fight, and I was saying to Shane, mate, I just don't feel nothing here. I don't feel no nerves at all. I think like because I had my son, and I had to leave my son. It was a bit like I didn't feel like I was fighting. I was in like a little bit of a. I'm sure you're a father, aren't you, yourself?
Yeah, I've got 3 kids.
When you have your first child, you change as a person. You just feel different, and I just felt like, why am I here for? My son's at home. Why am I here for? And then in that fight, it took me a few times to like switch on, and obviously I ended up stopping the lad. And then I had a week off, and then I had to go into the Liam Smith training camp. So it was a bit like, I remember saying to Shane, like, look, mate, I need some time with my son. And Shane was like, would you want to be a boxer or a dad? Because Shane's just straight.
Yeah, straight up, man.
He's right though, isn't he? He's right. It's like, what do you want to be? Do you want to be sit at home with your dad and be a dad, or do you want to go and fight? And I said, okay, fair enough. I'll fight, because I wanted a bit more time to bond with my child. But after a week, I had to leave, back to London, and I just went and see my son. I felt like I had no connection to my son. It was like, my girlfriend was even worse at this point. give me more grief. So so when I was getting home on the weekends, I wasn't getting no rest. I was like with my son. He was screaming at 3 in the morning. I was trying to get some sleep before me back on training camp. So it was a hard training camp, that, because I had to go through the like not bonding with my child, and when I was getting home, I was getting no rest. So it was a really tough time for me. And obviously I lost that fight, but it's one of them things. Life's more important than boxing. That's what I've learned towards my age now. When I was younger, like I said to you, and I had no identity, boxing gave me a purpose, made me feel like I was important, where I never before that, I felt like I just didn't belong. I felt like I was just a spare part type of thing. You know what I mean? But it gave me a bit of a purpose in life, and then when I become a father, it gave me a new purpose in life. It was a bit of a mad change to me.
Yeah. I was gonna say, man, like, obviously 18 fights, you only lost 2. Yeah. Obviously, one to Fitzy, one to Liam Smith. How, as a professional and someone who's dedicated so much of their life to it, and I'm guessing at the time, your goal, is just to go as far as you can. Right? I know for some people, some fighters, with no disrespect, because you've got to respect everyone who steps in the ring, but they sort of respect the idea that there's probably a certain level they'll get to. But I feel like you give it the impression you wanted to go all the way, right? Yeah. That you, like, especially from the start, you really wanted to. How do you deal with the losses? Because I think that must be a really difficult thing to try and navigate. Because as a fighter, I can't even imagine the mindset. Do you know what I mean? You've got to get in there with supreme confidence. You've got to really believe, I'm winning this. There's not really any other way about it. So when you lost the first fight to Fitzy, how did you deal with that?
Yeah, that was the worst one. That was probably the worst loss of my career, because I was so like overconfident. I thought it'd be an easy fight. Like I was sparring like top lads like Liam Williams, James the Gale. I was sparring. I was performing really well in the gym. And then when I boxed with Chad, I thought, you're a joker. You don't take the sport seriously. You go partying. I live the life. You can't beat me. That's what my mindset was. And I still train really, really hard. But I think if you ever want to have a laugh, watch my ring walk for that night, and I just walked out. I was laughing. I was dancing. I just thought it would be a walk in the park. And after like 3 rounds, he was still in there, and he was still having to go, and he was still tough. I won the first 3 rounds quite easy, and then he come back in the 4th, and I had to go round, and I thought, this is my first test, my first 9 fights, and knocked 8 out. The other one was an easy win. I'd never really been tested. Yeah. I would like to have had a fight before that with someone who was half decent to give me a bit of a idea of what level I was at that point, where everything was just dead easy for me. So when I lost that fight, it was like a proper, like, I would have bet my life, and I would have died, because I would have bet my life that I would have won that fight. I was just that convinced. And the next day it was hard for me, because no one really understood how the way I was. I was going, oh, it's alright, you'll be back and stuff, and like it was really, really hard. But I remember Eddie messaging me, saying to me something like, great performance last night, I'd love to see the rematch. And when I seen that, I thought, I can get him back. I can get him back. It gave me like a bit of a lift. I thought, I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna go to the ring with the right mindset. I want to smash him. So it gave me like a bit of fire back in my chest then. So I was like sitting around thinking, I need to have a week off, because I need to let my body heal. My hands were so sore from that fight. Like I literally, my hands were like double the size, swollen. I never had a mark on my face, but I had pure swollen hands. And I thought, what's happened here? Do you know what I mean? But that was what I wanted to take, and like against Liam Smith, and Liam Smith's a very, very good fighter. Like as a pro, I always had it my own way in the gym. I used to always go around gyms and I used to smash lads up, and he's probably the first person who went to gym and he got the better of me. And like he won the spar quite well, and I thought he's very, very good. I didn't realise how good he was. You watch him and you think he's quite basic. He looks like he doesn't do nothing special, but
he does it all very well.
He does. When I sparred him in Joe Gallio's gym, and it was like a sauna, and it was roasting hot. I had no water all day. I just had a coffee. I woke up in the morning, had a coffee, porridge, drove down. I had no water. It was roasting, and I had him in my face, just dead tight guard, and pressed me for 8 rounds. It was a really hard spar, and I thought he's really, really good. I went back and sparred him again, and I done better and better. So I thought when I boxed him, I thought I've improved. I can get the win, but he's a very, very good fighter. So I wasn't as surprised I lost that fight. I knew it was like a hard night for me. But when you go in the ring and you think there's no way you can lose, and then you do lose, and the whole world are watching you, and you've talked all the talk, and you've said all the right things, and you think, I look like I feel now. You feel bad.
I feel you.
No, I actually even on a post the next day and said, like, you know, with a piece of, if I was eating apple pie, and I put on saying, like I'm eating some humble pie. Because you got to make a joke around you. You can't go missing. Some boxers go missing, but I thought I'll face it. I talked the talk. I lost. It was still a great fight. I didn't get destroyed or nothing. It was a split decision. It was a hard fight for both of us.
Yeah.
But he won. Give him his credit. He won, and it's a shame what's happened to him since. You know what I mean? I'm in a really good position now in my life. I don't need to work. I can just live comfortable. I can do nice things in my family. Where he is, and I think he's in jail. So it's
he fits it.
Yeah. So it's
sad.
Yeah.
Because do you remember it was a couple of years ago now? Because I remember obviously you two had the fight. He fought Cheeseman. He won the British title, right? And it was kind of like, oh, okay, like we knew he kind of had his troubles and stuff, but it was like, oh look, he's bounced back. He's on the up. Yeah. Like you said, even I know he's an opponent of a former opponent of yours. But you must find it sad to see, because when that video went viral, I think he was like out on the street or whatever, and everyone was, oh, we need to try and band together. We need to try and help him. And it's hard because boxing's done so well for you. It's giving you that disciplined lifestyle, that mindset. We'll talk about how well you're doing in business on a separate thing. I'm guessing that those sort of lessons sort of tie into being dedicated and sticking at it. But it's weird how someone who seems to be so talented hasn't kind of taken that path as well, right? It's quite sad to see.
You know what? He actually, when he was fighting me, I remember he was becoming a dad, I think, for the first time. I remember he said it's changed him, and I was at the time, I didn't understand what he meant, but I get what he was to mean. Like when you become a father, it does change you. It gives you like a new purpose in life, and he wants to give him a new fire. With me, it made me soft. I felt like I was on the go and cut me ways. So, I mean, I think it probably go 2 ways, can't it? But I think I can see how it's happened now. At the time, I was that much in boxing. I had no distractions. I was just fighting. Where he's probably had the wrong crowd around him in his ear. Yeah, let's go past it. I want to drink. And he's probably had problems with his child's mum or something. I don't know what happened. I've heard all some mad stories about him, but I think he's had a lot of distractions around him, and he hasn't been able to keep on the straight and narrow path that I did for a long time. He let like out of things disrupt his life, and he's never really got back to where you're up in the morning, gym, home, gym, bed, sleep, gym. That's what my life was. Eat, sleep, train, repeat. That was my life for a long time. Where
the machine.
Yeah, I had that mentality. Probably I was on it all the time. I'd train 6 days a week. I'd rest on the Saturday, eat healthy food. I was just so committed. And then I'd have a fight, have a little blog going on. You have some nice food, a few drinks, go home, repeat, start again. But it's a very military lifestyle. I think he's just probably struggled to get back into it, and his weight's ballooned up, and that's one of the reasons why I retired as well. Like I had a few months off to bomb my little girl, because I thought I missed out on my little lad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bomb my little girl. My little girl is so close now. If I walk out of the room, she starts screaming, crying. She's like,
beautiful. I mean, stressful but beautiful. Yeah, stressful but lovely.
Yeah, she's dead clingy for me, because I've been with her since day one. She's always sat on my chest, and she's always been dead close to me. But after a few months of like, then Shane phoned me. He had me a fight for the British title, which I would have loved to fight. I went out weighed, and I was like 194 pounds or so, and I was a bit like, Shane, I can't lose 34 pounds in 8 weeks, mate. And he's like, cool. Are you coming at the gym? I was like, you know what, mate, I've been thinking, I'm not really missing the sport. if I miss it, I'll let you know. But at the moment, I've got my business doing really well. I'm spending time with my family. I'm actually enjoying my life. I'm eating nice things. I'm not always got pressure on me. I'm not always making weight. I'm not always having to spar 10 rounds on a Monday morning. Do you know what I mean? So just living a normal life, it was really, really nice for me because I'd never done it before. I'd always like been in the gym, running, weight, eating little tiny meals. Like it was really. Like, I look back, I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I bet, man.
Yeah, I'm like 15 stone now. Just like Emily got to pick on me. I'm still in good shape.
Yeah, bro. I was thinking, because how tall are you, bro?
I'm just nearly 6 foot.
Nearly 6 foot, but 15 stone and still like showing that. Like, bro, you're solid.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think how did I lose 4 stone? Like I was living such a deprived life. I was having no carbs after like 12 o'clock in the day. I just lived a very deprived life. Do you know what I mean?
Do you think that living, of course, it served you well because being that militant and that dedicated, it helped your career, right? But do you think that's part of the reason why like it's contributed to the retirement, not just family life? Do you think being so militant sort of made you not fall out of love with it, but sort of made you go, oh, do I want to keep doing it?
Yeah, I think I agree. A few of the lads said to me like I'm sure on the McCormack twins. They're the opposite to me. They work really, really hard, but then they go and party and they go.
They live life, right?
Yeah, and they go to me, "Come on, lad," and I was like, "No, mate, I'm gonna stay in me. I'm gonna go to the gym in the morning." And like they said to me, like, "Look, you were too dedicated. You were too strict, and eventually it just burns you out. You just get a bit burnt out with it all." Do you know what I mean?
It does feel that way because I mean there's a lot of fighters like you take, and it's hilarious, right? Like not in a bad way. If you look at someone like AJ, you look at Anthony Joshua, it's like the picture perfect man, spouts everything about. Like, I've got a lot of respect for him. I'm a huge AJ fan. Everyone takes the mick out of me, calling me like a fanboy and stuff, right? But it's like he looks the part, he talks the part, he eats the part, absolutely everything. Then you got Fury, who was like, I had 10 pints of Guinness, then sparred 30 rounds. And I'm like, mate, like if you put 2 pictures next to each other and people didn't know who they was, there's no way you're gonna say that Fury is the like the number one, right? Yeah. So I was gonna say, like, in your opinion, how much of boxing do you think is natural talent versus just working hard? Because of course working hard, it matters. It's probably 90% of it, but natural talent's got to be part of it, surely.
You know what? I always remember this story when I was in the GB squad. I was in the European Championships. And I was always the hardest work in the gym. I was always first in the runs. I was always lifting the heaviest weight. I was always doing the longest round sparring, and he was like Fred Evans, and he was the opposite to me. He used to smoke ciggies, he'd drink. On the runs, he'd be looking around the back because he didn't want to push himself. And I used to go away, and he'd win a gold medal, and I'd win like a bronze, and I'd be like, how's he winning these medals? How was he doing it? And I remember like once watching him, and I remember how calm before his fight, he was so calm, he didn't care, he didn't even warm up, he just shook his arms out. And because he was so like, not that bothered, he was so relaxed, he didn't bear no nervous energy, he just went in the ring, just like
chilled.
I think because he was a gypsy, he was just a fighting man, he just like, he doesn't faze them. A fight's just a fight for them, and like he was just so calm, he just like, bang, he just like, relaxed, and he'd let them make a mistake, so he'd make a punch, he'd catch them.
That's it.
And like he was just so calm, and I thought, am I putting too much pressure on myself here? Am I trying to win too hard? So I have adopted this mentality in leading up to the fight, where I just tried to like stay dead calm, stay dead relaxed, didn't burn no energy, and just like I wouldn't do a big massive warm up. I'd just do a little warm up, and I'd try and like copy fighters who were winning around me because I thought they're doing something right. Do you know what I mean? But I think sometimes it's not saying you can try too hard. You're playing darts, you're trying your best to get in, you miss, where you just let it flow, it goes in. It's like, I think boxing's the same. You need to go in the ring with like a relaxed, calm but confident mentality and perform. Yeah.
Well, and you feel like when we chat now, it sounds like you're in such a good place in your life. Do you know what I mean? Like talking as a family man myself, obviously, like our careers are super different. Do you know what I mean? But I remember like when my son was first born. In 2018, he was born, and I went away again for a couple of weeks, and I went on tour, I come back, and literally it felt like the first couple of months I was around him, I couldn't even pick him up. If I picked him up, he was kicking off like he wanted his mum, because that's what he was used to. It sort of makes you feel like, what's the point, man? Like, what have I sort of done here? Like, and then you kind of, I suppose, get to a point where you're like, you've got to find the right balance between work and family. Being a boxer, work is life. Everything's about it, right? So now you're sort of in a position, Supreme CBD, absolutely smashing it. Yeah. Talk me through how did that start as a business?
You know, I was just dead lucky. The best thing I ever done, but it was dead lucky. Like basically, I had another company asked to sponsor me with the CBD, and I was a bit like, I can't take that. It's cannabis. Like obviously I was in the wrong mindset. And he was like, no, you can't. It's it's illegal, it's from the hemp plant, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, how much are you going to give me? So I thought, money's money, money's money. So he offered me £500 a month, and I thought, that's sound. So I agreed it with him, and then I weren't taking it because I thought, I don't really need it. What do I need that for? But when I went down the gym, I told Dave Colwell at the time that what was happening. He was like, oh, I use CBD. I was like, do you really? He's like, mate, I love it. I get bad shoulders. It fixes me shoulders. And I couldn't do the pads without CBD. So I thought, that's interesting. So I started to thought, you know what, I don't mind promoting this now. So I started doing like little Instagram posts and whatever else. And I was sparring that day, and I got whacked around my jaw. And honest God, it was killing me. Jaw was really aching. And then I ended up taking the oil. I hope people think I'm lying about this. It's on my kids' labs, it's the truth. Within like 20-30 minutes, my jaw felt like 90% better. And I was like, I feel sound now. And I thought, that's that stuff. I thought, that's mad. That's mad. So I couldn't believe it. I thought, my head fell off. And I thought, that's crazy. So I then probably went pure. This stuff's unbelievable. People thought I was lying, whatever. I was smoking to all my followers. People were buying it. And I remember this one message from a fella in Aldi, but mate, my mum has been in bed for 2 weeks. She's back walking around now. I thought, are you serious? Are you lying to me? Make me feel good.
People think you're tweeting yourself for sticking about it.
I didn't even share it, but I thought, he must have said that to me, make me feel good, because I didn't even believe the fella. I thought, really, come on, that bottle of oil's made your mum walk around again. And he was like, mate, and then as the time was going on, I was getting before and after pictures. People were having like mad skin conditions. He was showing me pictures afterwards. The skin was clear, and I thought, everyone can't be lying, because everyone's getting the results he wants. And so I'd done pure research into it then, and thought, this is unbelievable, this. And then if you go back like hundreds of thousands of years, back in the day, everyone used hemp for everything. If a woman was having a baby, they'd give them hemp and wine, for the pain management. And like anyone with a skin condition, they go put hemp all over it, or they had a headache, they'd take hemp. So back in the years ago, everyone used hemp for everything. And then obviously when like paracetamol come out and aspirin, these big massive companies done like big massive campaigns to get cannabis and hemp illegalized. So they want to, obviously, to rival business. They called it devil plants. I called them the angel plant. Do you know what I mean? I swear. But these big companies obviously pushed all the media, and then got it all banned. And then about 5-6 years ago, a girl in America was having like 100 seizures a day. Like just her whole life was in a seizure. And mum tried everything for her. And mum was going around trying medicine, doctors. Someone said to her, try CBD, try hemp, and she tried that. And she went down from 100 seizures a day to 1 a week. So she went to the courts and was like, this is my little girl, look at these videos of her shaking, look at her now, she's fine. How is this stuff illegal? And the people were just like, you know what, she's got a point. So they made it illegal over in America, in this state. And then obviously, why is that legal? It's illegal here. And it's just went around the whole world now, where it's legalised, do you know what I mean? So a lot of people are having benefits from it.
So how did you then get on to Supreme CBD? So obviously you were sponsored, but then how did you start the brand? Because obviously as you were still fighting, I see we saw you promoting it. We were laughing earlier because I feel like I was like one of the first influencers. I remember getting the little bottles in like lockdown, and I was like, the hat on, yeah, Willie hat indoors.
I loved you for that, mate. I loved you for that.
So like, how did you then, like, because it's grown so fast. So obviously, of course, you've done well out of boxing, but it feels like it's allowed you to retire quite comfortably, quite early.
But I could have retired years ago. It's gone like stupidly busy, like, because I've got such a big profile and people trust me. I've never promoted nothing else. I've never said try Herbalife or try this. I've always just never been bothered. I've just always been boxing. And when I tried that for the first time, it proper baffled me. So then I was working this other lad, and then one day my mate phoned me. He's like, mate, that lad's mixing the oil. He was like weakening the oil. So people were like, son, I get to a certain strength. He was like wasing it down to like maximise the profits. And I was like, mate, that's disgusting. That people are spending money to buy that. And he was like, oh, he tried to deny it, but after that I just thought, I can't work with you now. So I had to then go obviously do my own brand. And I said to me, little brother, do you want to work with me? And he was like, yeah, I love it. He was at the time, he was just carrying chairs around the Echo Arena, just stacking chairs. He probably thought, if I've got nothing else to do.
Yes, I'm on it, mate. What a promotion.
So he tried that, and he actually got with the name Supreme CBD. So I was like, yeah, you know what, that's a good name, man. And then I was checking all the suppliers in America, Austria, Canada, trying all the stuff. And then I found this place in America, and I tried the stuff and it tasted like weedy, like dead strong. So I tried that and I thought, that's boss, that. I mean, it made it knock me out. I had it, and about half an hour, I fell asleep on the couch.
Really?
And I thought, that's good stuff, that. But that's good stuff, that. So I just called that Supreme CBD, and I've been working with the fella for years now. Do you know what I mean? Like we do a lot of business now. I want to eventually go into grow my own stuff. I want to build my own lab and have my own in-house thing, because I'm making this fella loads of money, and I'm thinking, I'm giving you all this money, I might as well just do it myself.
I mean, that must be quite a process though, to go from having a distributor to becoming your own sort of source.
It's a long-term goal, but I've got 8 staff now. It was with me and my brother.
8 staff?
Yeah, 8 staff. I'm saying full-time staff. Do you know what I mean? Like, we've got a marketing team, digital, operations manager, social media. We've got like a full team. Do you know what I mean?
Mate. And at one point, I thought I was just DMing you. Now I'm DMing other like random people who's working on the team. So obviously, Supreme CBD doing really well. You're comfortable in life. You've got a beautiful family. From the outside, I'm sure it's like everything you can kind of dream of. Life's good, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything you regret in terms of boxing? Because of course you've come so far. But like you said, your pro career was only 4 years.
I think it was 4 years, 9 months. The whole thing started from my first fight to my last.
And that is because when I think about it now, because I remember you turned over. It was 2017. Where it was on the Kell Brook Errol Spence card.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
And it's thinking about that. Your career does feel like it, because you were like such a huge prospect. Everyone was saying your name. It did go bang, just so quick. Is there anything you regret about it? Is there anything you wish you could go back? Do you feel like you could have done more? Is there a different route you would have taken? Or you just like, no, I'm happy with how it went out?
One thing I'd say was I think I turned pro at the wrong weight. I went pro at light middleweight, and when I was 16 in school, I was the light middleweight champion of the country.
Wow.
In school. So I managed to keep the same weight for 14 years, which I went up in the amateurs to 12 stone and performed really well. Got to world number 3, and then I come back down, and a lot of me camps were like just crashing weight, and like a few days before the fight, I'd be a stone overweight. I still drop a stone like 2 or 3 days.
Does that not kill you for the fight?
That's what I'm saying. I was doing it, but when I was doing it, I like boxing like 157, 158. I felt a lot better. I was losing like 10, 12 pounds. But when I was making the championship weight, it was just, I only had a few rounds in me, and after a few rounds, I was tired because I was dropping that much weight. But it come a bit of an obsession. People saying, you can't make it, he's too big. And I was like, well, watch me, I'm going to prove you wrong and stuff. And like, it was a bit stupid. Like Dave Colwell had said to me I should move up. Barry McGuigan said to me, you need to move up, because they seen how big I was. I was so like big and strong and like ripped at like 12.5 stone. I was like a stone and a half over, and I was solid as a rock with like veins popping out of my stomach and stuff. And I was still losing like a stone and a half. Like,
or at them weigh-ins, it looked like you had like paper skin. Like when people like, go to competition, you were like shredded. I'm like, surely come fighting like that's got to be killing you, right?
Yeah, mate. When I watched Liam Smith, I put on 18 pound, mate. 18.5 pound I put on, which is metal in like 24 hours. You know what I mean? Crazy.
Yeah.
But I thought me I'd be big and strong, which I was for like 3 rounds. After that, he just took over the fight. My energy bar went from there to there.
Super quick.
Yeah.
When I think about you in terms of your boxing career, right, the first name that flashes into my head is Dave Coldwell, right? How long was you with Dave for? It was a while, right?
Yeah, I think it was 2020 I left Dave. I think I was with Dave for 3 years. I think it was like 3 years, yeah.
And that was all amicable, right? It was all fine.
Yeah, no, it was good. You know what? It was just a bit like with Dave. I was trying really hard. He's quite a strict host. Dave. He's dead nice guy outside the ring, but he's strict, and the gym he's strict, and he works it hard. But I think I boxed my last fight with Dave was against Harry Scarf, and like I even told Dave this story, but after I boxed Harry Scarf, I boxed half like dead flat and stuff, and he was like, that camp we were flying. I was going to the ring really confident, and again making that weight, it took a lot out of me again. I just didn't really perform, and then a few months later, I was trying to get back into training. I was like Christmas, I was training, and I was hitting the bags. Just on like, I think it was Boxing Day or Christmas Eve. I was training like I used to always train. I used to always train Christmas Day and everything. And then Dave messaged me saying something like, mate, you look awful in that bag there, blah blah blah. And I thought, mate, it's Christmas Eve. I was having a little mess around in the gym. Do you know what I mean? And like, you give me shit over it.
Got it, yeah.
And I just thought, you know what? I think I need a fresh start. Like I've been in Sheffield a long time as well. It was like my weeks were just the same. Every week was the same. I was driving down the motorway to Sheffield 2 hours straight in the gym, and because I was in the GB squad in Sheffield. I was in Sheffield for like. What was it, Sheffield for 9 years or something like that?
A big part of your life there.
So
right?
I was down there too much. I just thought, you know what? I think I need a fresh little start. Me, and then I actually wanted to work with McGuigan at the start of my career. I looked at all the coaches in the country, and I thought, you know what? Josh Taylor stood out. He wasn't the best amateur. He was a good amateur boxer, but he wasn't the best. Shane took him from there to elite world champion. So I thought, he's doing something like that. He's done amazing with Josh. So I spoke to Shane. He was interested, and then I went down training. It was all going really, really well. Then he was like, look, I don't want to work with NDN. We're trying to build our own platform on Channel 5. I was like, I don't really want to box on Channel 5, mate. I want to box with Sky, Matchroom, the best. And he was a bit like, well, it was a bit of a like contradiction. He
conflict of interest.
Yeah, sorry.
That's not
too many punches to the lad. I would have got that years ago. Yeah, conflict. So I ended up like looking around thinking, oh, you know what? I wanted to go with Shane there. So I was then debating going to Rob McCracken. I spoke to Rob McCracken about training there. And he was like, look, mate, I'm dead busy with Joshua. I don't mind overseeing you and helping you out if you're training in the gym. You can work with the other coaches and stuff, but I'm dead busy with Joshua and blah, blah, blah. And obviously he was the head of Team GB. So I was after debating that, and I was training, and Rob weren't really that involved. He had Frost, he had Joshua, he had these big massive names. So he weren't really giving me the attention I wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dave had that big win with Banjo against David A. Against Shane as well. So I thought Colwell must be good. He must. Yeah. That's a great win. That it must be good. And then I phoned Dave and was like, look, and he's like, yeah, listen, come to the gym. We'll have a little chat and stuff like that. Because he for some reason he thought I was like dead like arrogant and dead like I knew it all and stuff. Which I was like, I'm actually the opposite. If you meet me in the ring and you're a coach, I give you my utmost respect. That everything you say do, I'll do it. And I did for Dave and Shane. Everything he said to me do, I tried to do it. Do you know what I mean? So when Dave met me, he was pleasantly surprised with my attitude. I was like, I do this wrong, I do that wrong, I do this wrong. How can I get better? And he was like, I'm surprised you said all these faults because I thought you were a bit like up your own ass and that. must have been me persona as like.
I think it's the confidence, bro. Yeah, I think it is the confidence.
Well, like, you know what, my profile has earned me a lot of money, so I'm glad no matter where I was.
Yeah, man.
Some boxers just sit back and don't say nothing, but it doesn't really pay for it in the long run. Do you know what I mean? But anyway, I trained with Dave, and I really enjoyed training with Dave. He had a whole new aspect. He's quite a good teacher, Dave. He like breaks things down and stuff, and I really did enjoy it. And he was teaching me a lot of inside stuff, which I used to be useless on the inside before I went to Dave, and he taught me a lot of nice stuff and that. So we had a good relationship, Dave. While it lasted, we had a really good relationship.
Yeah, and then you moved across to Shane. How was that transition? Because obviously you went to the first time, it was a little bit of a conflict of interest, and then obviously when you finished with Dave, was Shane straight back on it? Was it an easy transition?
Yeah, I think I was in Thailand, and I messaged Shane. Because he was in Thailand as well. It was mad. I messaged him saying, "Hello, Shane. I'm thinking of leaving Dave. Like I've been down there for a long time now. I need something new. I liked you previously. Now you're out working at the end because you got Campbell or Coley, like." And he was like, "Yeah, okay." He was like, "Well, what's happened with Dave?" I was like, "I need to speak to Dave." And he's like, "Cool." Actually, I met to spoke to Dave before, and I'm not too sure which way it was. But I said, "No, I spoke to Dave. Dave's cool." And he was like, "Okay, well, come on the gym. I'm home this date." So I went down. I went down to Dave's gym because I thought, you know what, out of respect for Dave, I want to go down and say thanks for all your help.
Yeah, of course.
I didn't want to send him a text, so I drove the gym. He was sound. He wished me well. I seen Jordan, Hopey, the lads, shook all their hands, said thanks for everything, and then I drove from there to London, and then I'd say with Shane, and Shane's really, really good. I really like Shane's attitude to the gym. He's very, very much like it's business, and like he knows what he's doing. Like you look at the world champions he's producing, it's not a fluke. And he taught me a lot about like nutrition and boxing. And the reason I put 18.5 pounds on was because Shane told me how to like reduce my carbs and reduce my glycogen in my muscles and to refuel properly. But I just think 154 was a bit too much. Like I'm 203 pounds now, and like I'm still healthy and solid.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm not a big fatty. I'm not a big. Yeah. You know I mean? So I was boxing the wrong weight. I know I was. I probably even could have done 168.
Because if someone said I'm walking around 4 stone over my fight weight, you'd assume, okay, look, they've blown up, they've got a bit fat, they're out of shape. It's going to be to be walking around still abbed up, still looking like you're in fighting shape. I know, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, my mate said you're like a small heavyweight with abs, isn't it?
Literally,
man, it's nuts.
Yeah, I know. So I don't honestly, I don't know how I've done it, but I lived a bit of a deprived life. I had not one bad thing in my body apart from like fish, veg, salad, chicken, porridge. It was just all dead strict. And then every night I'd train, I'd go for like an hour walk before bed to get my weight down. It was like very, very strict.
You just did not mess about, did you?
I was dead. I was like military.
So much of your life has been based on boxing. Obviously, only recently retired. What has been the best moment of your boxing life, of your career, from amateurs to professional? What was the best moment?
You know what? I'd say probably qualifying for the Olympics.
Really?
Yeah, what it was, right, for some mad reason, when I qualified for the Olympics, I never thought this happened to me, but I had like a little mad flashback of me, like an 11-year-old kid in toxic, like dead poor and like scruffy clothes, go in the gym, and I thought, you know what, I went from that little kid there to going to the greatest show on earth, the Olympics, and it was like probably like sentimental to me, and it made me cry. I was doing an interview with BBC. It's the most cringy thing ever now, like me crying on BBC, but I just got like a mad little flashback of me as a child there, walking to that gym on my own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Getting the bus there and all that, and like I just probably made me feel really, really like happy and special.
But I'm not surprised, man. Like you said that you went to your first amateur fight and you turn up there, you got your trainers on, you got your garbage shield, you haven't really got anything.
Yeah.
To then looking back to qualifying for the Olympics, especially after it took a while to get to Team GB, right, after a lot of knockbacks and stuff like that. Yeah, man, I think it's been an awesome story. One thing I do want to ask you about, you said your cousin's dad, right? Yeah. Your cousins being as successful as they were and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you think that was like fueling the fire for you?
100%, yeah.
Because my older brother, right, super successful, and I look at him and things he does, and it's sort of like this. It's unsaid. It's not like we'll support each other through everything, but there's this unsaid kind of thing where it's like if someone does something well, I better be doing something well in the next few months. Do you know what I mean? It's just do you think that was fueling the fire for you?
It's a good competitive rivalry. It makes you hungry and it's good. But yeah, obviously growing up in Toxteth, like I said, we were very, very poor. I lived with my dad on my own. He didn't work. We had nothing. So like we look at my cousin driving around in Porsches and big house and all that stuff, and I was just in my little tiny house and my scruffy clothes on. Like I want that, do you know what I mean? I want that, and his dad instilled the mentality to me, like everything you do, it's not good enough, you got to do better. Every fight I had, when I won, I'd go back to him, I was like, he said, you should knock them out, you should have finished them off, you had them out there. And he had this mad mentality where like, if you get done, wasn't good enough. So in the end, I was like, you know what, I want to knock this next kid out. So I'd train harder. When I would knock people out, he'd be made up. He was like a bit of a, he had a bit of a vicious streak, me uncle. But yeah, I think having Robbie so successful and me being so unsuccessful, it gave me a bit of a like target to reach. What?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you not think that like sometimes, I don't know, I think everyone's different, right? But you know, like if all you get is not criticism, it's constructive, but like, oh, you could have done this, but you could have done that better. You should have done this, you should have done that. Do you not think that disheartens some people? Like for you, obviously, it made you tough. It made you like committed. It's probably why you were so militant in your career. But do you not find that for some people that that's maybe not the right approach? What do you think?
You know what, I remember one fight. I remember like I lost. I remember I went to Manchester. I was only 11, and I boxed this lad. It was Jose Baton, his brother, and he was good. He'd probably been boxing since he was 4 or something. I've been boxing 5 months or something like that. Yeah. And he was outboxed me. He was a bit too sharp, and he beat me. And my uncle on the drive home didn't speak to me the whole way. He was like fuming because I boxed. I got beat, and I was like, I remember like this little kid, 11. I remember getting in bed and crying because I was like dead gutted that I lost. Yeah, and no one even said to me, unlucky.
Yeah.
You tried your best, but I look back and think, you know what, it made me tough. Like I remember a story about my uncle when Robbie skipped training. Robbie didn't go to training for his match. He missed training, and his dad didn't know where he was. And he was on the Astros playing football with his mates, messing around. And he walked on and slapped him with his mates, slapped him with hard, and was like, why have you missed the gym? Why have you missed training? And he was like, get in, you train twice tomorrow. Do you know what I mean? And like, that's where my uncle was. Towards the end of his life, he's passed away now. He got ill and he was unwell, and he lost. But he was very, very tough. He was. But it was tough love when like you won. He was the proudest person of you. Yeah. But if you ever felt you didn't work hard enough, he was disappointed.
He was the first one to tell you. Do you know what? I think it's interesting. Obviously now, like we're both dads, and you hear that kind of stuff, and obviously generally, I would say like society today, everything's a bit softer, right? Like if you told that story now, imagine if that was your little boy, and you walked over the park and went, "What you do, mate? You'd be arrested." You know what I mean? It's not going to go Supreme CBD's going down the drain, mate. You're going away if you do that. So, would you have with your own kids? Obviously, you've had such a militant like sort of regime for most of your life. You did so much. Like, how do you think you'll be with your own kids? Like, if your little boy went, "Dad, I want to box," would you let? Because a lot of boxers I speak to, my dad was a fighter, right? He's a prime example. My dad was a pro, and when I was a kid, I saw pictures of him and Frank Bruno, saw all these pictures, this and that, him being promoted by Frank Warren, and in my head I was like, I want to be a fighter. Yeah. By the time I was about 8 or 9, that idea was well put out of me, because all he said was no, would not let me even step foot in the gym, would not have it. And I feel like there's quite a few fighters who are like that. Some are not, obviously. What about you, if with your kids?
Yeah, I can see why your dad. It's a horrible, hard sport. I mean, like when you're in the sport, you're half like you don't realise how tough it is, and you come away from it, you're like, that's corrupt. That's a bad decision. He should be fighting him. He's a level above, and he's getting battered for nothing. It's just like it's a nasty sport. Do you know what I mean? It's like I wouldn't want my son to fight professionally, no chance in the world. I'd be disappointed. I thought, all my hard work to provide for you, and you want to go and fight, like really?
Yeah.
Just use your brain, get a job, do something you're passionate about, do something you love. Don't go into fighting. Like fighting's good when you're poor. Like I was really poor, I had nothing. And boxing gave me a way of life, a way to earn money, a way to get respect, and it made me feel important. That's what boxing did for me. Give me a bit of identity, like. So, but my son doesn't need to. Like I'd rather push him towards something like football or something where he's not getting punched in the head. Like I don't think any man wants to see the son fight. I don't see why you'd want to see your son fight. Don't get me wrong. If he said to me, Dad, I want to try it, I'd say, okay, you want to fight? You'd be like I was. You'd have no luxury. You train every single day, no days off. You diet. You don't go out with your mates drinking. You're committed to the sport, and then if you want to do that, once he's his own man, he's his own man. I can't dictate his life.
Of course.
When I was a young kid, my dad laughed at me. I told my dad I wanted to be a boxer. Laughed at me.
Really?
Like, yeah. I went, it's a tough sport, that, son. I was like, nah, I want to do it. I was 11, but he didn't say I can't. He just laughed at me. He said, like, well, you want to be a boxer, you little skinny 11-year-old kid?
Good luck,
you know
mate.
what I mean? That's what I'm saying, but I would never tell him what to do. Like, if he wants to do something, I support him, whatever he wants to do. I'd advise against it. I'd say, look, if I was you, mate, I'd go and play football. I'd go and do something else. But personally, if you want to go and fight, I'll take you to the gym, I'll watch it, I'll give you the best advice I can, but because everyone's their own people, you can't make someone do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, man.
They probably repel against you and want to do it to prove you wrong or something. I'll give me advice, say, look, if I was you, I'd do something else. It's an hard sport. It isn't even that much money in the sport unless you like...
Yeah, I was going to say that. Sorry to cut you off, bro. I was going to ask you that. Obviously, you done well out of the sport. You was a big prospect. You signed with the right promotional company at the right point. They're making waves. But there are so many fighters I know, like someone I know relatively well, Nina Hughes, right? So she's a world champ, loveliest lady going, right?
She's lovely, yeah.
And I was speaking to her trainer, Kevin Lilly, and he was like, yeah, because Nina's not in till a bit late, so she's got work up in the city. Now, bearing in mind, I'm a big fan of the sport, yeah. I follow a lot of fighters. I follow you. Like I'm actually interested in fighters' lives as opposed to just them in the ring, right? And I was like, what did you just say? You mean she's got work? And I went, she's a world champion, mate. What do you mean she's got work? And he's like, yeah, she works 3 days a week up in the city. She's got a boy, she's got a family, like she's got to work. And I hear that, and from even as someone who's, you know, kind of in the entertainment industry myself and around, like being fortunate enough to be around a lot of boxers, a lot of fighters, and sort of be around the game a bit. Even then, I was thinking, no way, because I know a lot of fighters who still have to work other jobs and do stuff like that. But I was like, she's a world champ. So it must be like, is it like what, top 1%, or what is it like that makes a fighter able to earn?
I heard a statistic years ago when it was only one was in the fighters enough to retire, not work. 1%, that's what I heard. I'm not sure how true it is, but I think it probably is about true. As you said, Nina's a world champion. She should be getting sponsored, big paydays, but she's not. She's just probably getting like a bit of money, giving a coach 10%, manager 15%, and then paying a tax bill, paying for the camps, and left over the few grand in there, like, because it's mad, isn't it? Like it's not really right either. But if you headline arenas, you sell arenas, you can earn good money. But unless you're at that point, you're not getting much money, are you, really?
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, like you said there. You said earlier, like when you're in the sport yourself, when you're actually in it, you don't actually see like how tough it is or how it's just kind of the way it is. I guess when you step out of it, you're like, mate, I'm being punched in the head for a living. I'm sparring every day. I'm doing this.
On that Fitzgerald rematch, no joke. Shane was talking about it when Fitzgerald was having a rematch, a fight at so like 164, and he was talking about money. And I went, Shane, I don't want one penny, mate. I want to fight him. I want to beat him. I want to get revenge. I don't care about the money. Yeah. And that's some of my kids' lives. I would have boxing for free because I was earning money outside the ring, so I didn't really necessarily rely on the boxing. But looking back, I would have slapped myself and said, mate,
yeah, what are you doing?
Worth 150, 200 grand for that fight. It's a massive fight. But I just had that point in my life. I was that revenge that much because I was just fuming, and he beat me. Do you know what I mean? So I would have boxed him for free, and just like the win would have been enough for me. But looking back, I would have slapped myself for that. Yeah,
you would have had to, man. I would have slapped you now. Even 15 stone or not, bro, I would have had to. But what are you doing? What are you doing that?
It was silly, wasn't it?
Looking back, bro, is there... Does it burn you if you come to terms with it now? Because like you said, you fully understand why you lost that fight. It was the wrong mindset. You could have won this and that. Does it? Like, are you gutted about the fact that rematch never happened? That you didn't get to right the wrong?
Yeah, I reckon that's the only reason I'd come back for that fight. I reckon if he got out of jail or whatever else.
Whoa, sorry, whoa. Little bit of an exclusive there. Real talk. You'd come if he got out, got himself clean, ready to go. You'd come back.
Because I'd think, you know what, it's a fair play. Maybe he's come out of jail. I've had a long time off. I'd fight him again. I would, just because I feel so we were. It was unsettled the fight. Like he did win the fight fair and square, but it was very very close. And I did have the wrong mindset. I don't know. I'd fight him. That's one person I'll come out of the time before.
Mate, I'd love to see it, bro. I shall tell you, I'd love to see that. One, because it does feel like a little bit of unfinished business between you two, and two, more for him, man. It would sort of be a sign that he's kind of back on the right track.
We had 2 fights, and one was an amateur, but I smashed him and stopped him like 2 rounds in amateur. That's another reason why the pros are thought it's not enough from a boxing when the amateurs ate him in the right hand. His legs went, and I stopped him with big gloves on and head guards. But obviously, he shocked me, didn't he? So I think it's 1-1. I reckon that rematch is the only reason I'd fight again, because there'd be good money and it'd be like a bit of a like nice way to go out.
Yeah.
If I just got my own back on him.
Do you think that if I know you won your last fight, but do you think if you would have won the Liam Smith fight, you would have carried on?
Yeah. No, I would. You know what I said to myself when I was away, when my girlfriend was getting pregnant, and I stopped enjoying the sport. I swear it might sound mad, but I was away for so long. You know, like I lived away for 12 years, like in little tiny, like I'm talking like student accommodation. Like at one point I was living in an abandoned school.
Yeah.
It's like I used to think like, what's the point paying for an house when I'm there 4 days a week? So I used to just rent these little tiny horrible places, like shared rooms and houses with all like Polish and like foreigners, and didn't even speak English. People didn't even speak English. So I was living a bit of a mad little life, and then I got to the point where like I had Supreme doing really well. I bought a few houses, they were doing really well. I got into buying like old rundown houses. There's a good little business venture for this, what I've been doing. Like I'd buy an house with 50 grand cash. I'd spend about 10-12 grand on it. I'd then go to the bank, say, look, I've got a house here worth 80 grand. They'd give me 75% of the money to give me like something like, what, 64 grand back. So I'd get me whole money back. I'd own a house, rent it out for like £600 a month. I was paying like £220 on the mortgage. I'd be in like £40 a month, and I got down to then go and buy another one. I was just buying houses.
Like printing money.
Yeah, obviously you have to pay the stamp and solicitors and stuff, but within a year you get your money back, and then you're just earning £200-300 a month to the rest of your life. Like that, it's just an easy way to earn money. Do you know what I mean? If you get a bit of money behind you, that's a tip for anyone watching.
There you go. Tip for anyone watching, listening. Get into property.
To be fair,
I think, man, it must be so hard, bro. Because as a spectator to the sport, right? And I guess it's weird because you will never be in mine and a lot of other people's positions of people who've only got to watch it from the outside.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like you'll watch fights differently. You'll go to a fight night differently. You experience it. You'll look at it and be like, I know what that person's been through to get there. And it's so easy. We'll kind of wrap up on this. I kind of wanted to ask you, like, I'm very much a person of like, I hate tweeting negative or saying anything negative online because, you know, I feel like a lot of people do stuff and they wouldn't say it to your face. Like they might, someone might message you and go, oh, someone messaged you and went, Ant, I'm going to be real, mate. I thought this round was not, people probably wouldn't take the time, but they might say, I thought this round was a bit this round was a bit that, but on the whole, well done, but this could have been better. You'd go, fair enough. You're more likely to get a message to go, and you're shit, you should never have turned pro for no reason. Do you know what I mean? People just go out of their way. Like, it must be a weird thing knowing what you go through as a fighter and what other fighters go through to see negativity so much. Do you know what I mean? Because you could be the best one, you could be the best fighter in the world. You're going to get stick. It's just the name of the game, right?
You know what? Yesterday I got someone, I always get trolls, but yesterday I got one that made me laugh. It was some lad on an Adam Smith parody account. And he said something like, just think you boxed Liam Smith 2 years ago. Now you're selling CBD, how embarrassing. And I thought, mate, I'm running a company. I'm a director of a company for 8 staff. You're on a fake profile on Twitter. And you're calling me embarrassing, mate.
Yeah.
You're on a fake profile because you're scared to say it in your own name. I'm running a successful business. I've been boxing 20 years. I've been in the Olympics, and you're calling me embarrassing.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean,
right.
that's the mentality people on Twitter, like on the little. They're all brave in the women's box rooms, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the women's spare room on the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Not quite well. Well, listen, Andy, bro, thank you so much for coming on A Fighter's Life, for chatting to us, man. Happy retirement as well, bro. I'm sure you're going to smash it, and hopefully I want to get myself some more CBD, bro, because some more of that Supreme. I've got a few injuries, mate. You need to help me out.
I'll sort you out, mate. Don't worry about that.
Thank you, bro.
Nice one.